wanted to let you guys know that Nashville is fine. They haven't set anything on fire as of late. That's good. That's good. That's what we call actual progress, when things aren't set on fire. We did some comedy tonight, y'all. Can't you tell? We're totally in a mood. It actually went insanely well. Hold on, I want you guys to see this one more time because it's so beautiful every single time that I show it. This is one reason why I actually do appreciate this city, because it's just not... It's not as easy to get lost in as other cities that are a lot larger. So, oh, here, look at that shit again. Look at that shit again. Isn't that exciting? That fucking stupid ass gay fucking homosexual prism. What's up? I thought of a new term for SpongeBob SquarePants, because we do not want him to be a square. Am I right? Am I right? He ain't a square. He's a homosexual sponge in the ocean. In this made-up cartoon world. I feel like everything's a made-up cartoon world at this point, for so many different reasons. I'm really glad that I did stand up tonight. But yeah, it went really well. Like, I got every kind of reaction that I wanted to get. Well, I didn't offend anybody too bad, so that's good. I mean, like, I'm actually just tired of the same reaction. Like, if I get that, you know, or I don't know, where people are like, oh my god, or, you know, those people that exclaim because they can't help but react to something that she said. It's just kind of annoying, because I always want to react to it, but I'm like, no, just keep doing your set. But I'm so proud of myself because I actually did the whole fucking set. I, like, hardly ever do the whole set. There's always something that I omit because I don't want to say it, but I did pray, and I literally felt God's presence the whole time. And I did jokes about God, and they laughed at it, probably because they thought, once again, that I was being satirical. They'll get that it wasn't a satire whenever they're burning in hell. That's really cool, though. There was this dude that I talked to who has gotten significantly better in his comedy. Like, I was actually really impressed. He didn't say anything mean. When I, like, finish my set, it's always really hard for the person after me. Because he did say, how do you follow that? I know that he was, like, sort of being sarcastic, but at the same time not being sarcastic, because, like, people were kind of like, whoa, that was awesome. You know, I could tell, like, even people that didn't like it, or even people that didn't know what I was doing or whatever, they were just like, they were still, I guess, sort of floored by the whole thing of it, because, you know, I'm just out there, that's all. But I'm just so sick of, like, people getting offended, but more than that, I'm sick of people talking about people getting offended, because that's all that we're doing in politics, in society. It's just like people are just like, this is, let me explain what the left-right paradigm is. Okay, the left people, okay, we all know they're all about control, no matter what. I'm one of those, like, whatever you call it, Robert Frost type liberals where I can't take my own side. So I tend to always want to be looking at this other angle. And I just look at the bigger picture of what's happening, which is why I support what's going on now. You know, a lot of people don't get that. They just, you know, they hear like, oh, she's putting in a kind word for Trump, and it, like, I don't want to listen to her anymore. Well, I get it. It's not, I don't get offended by that. I just think it's dumb. Because there are so many people that, see, that truck agreed with me. That's what I tell myself. I love, like, giving life to everything, because, like, I will tell myself, oh, that's positive, or oh, that's negative. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. So say, like, something happens that has nothing to do with me, being the schizo that I am, I will naturally just be, it'll like, however I react to that will reflect, like, you know, how I currently feel about myself in the world. And those two things are definitely related, which is why people that have a grievance with the world, you know, they usually have a grievance with themselves, but they don't know it, so, you know, it's better that they project it. And I don't really think that that's necessarily out of, you know, being a bad person. It's just that nobody's really taught them how to be a good person, because a lot of times, and this is my problem with the leftists, the left communism leaning ideology, if you can even call it that. See, it got dark because we're talking about communism. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I just gave you guys an example of what I was just talking about, because my timing is that fucking brilliant. So, anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Of course you don't. You already forgot it. Of course you did. You gave an example for what you were doing. I don't even know what you were doing now. Yeah, this is what happens with too much cannabis. Yeah, dude. So apparently there's a new mic going at this place where they're, I'll remember what I was saying eventually. Hopefully. I'll pray. Okay, God, please. Please. God was totally there tonight. It was like so obvious. Communism. I just remember we were talking about communism. When are we not bitching about communism in some kind of way? That's always gonna be like a backdrop. Oh, you were talking about the shift between the left and the right, or the paradigm. Okay, so yeah, the left is communism, okay? But the right is somewhat authoritarianism. A lot of people just use this religious perspective, but they're really like setting a bad example for religion, you know, when they're trying to make money off everything. And I'm so fucking sick of money, you know, so fucking sick of it. That's why I give stuff away. I don't know. I'm tired of buying shit. Mainly because, and I know I give women a hard time, but I guess maybe all this stuff is making me realize that society, this culture is so fucking sick, and it's just making people so stupid. So I really feel sorry for people in society, you know? I feel sorry for people because they don't really have many options, you know, other than like the ones that are presented to them all the time, you know? It's just like this culture is doomed to fail because of modernization of everything, and it's not good. I guarantee you, like, all the Amish people are perfectly healthy. Simple life. My life, I try to make it simple because it's so very complicated. But anyway, what was this saying? People on the right, you were talking about how they're religious, authoritarian. Yeah. Well, we've just seen what's happened with, you know, gay rights. We've seen what's happened with that. That's the only reason you know, I know that I pick on homosexuals a lot, but, you know, it's really more about pederasty, which is a problem. It's a major problem. And they're just using gays to get into that realm. You know, that's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing. And more you're going to see that being normalized. And they're going to try to destigmatize pedophilia. And be like, oh, it's a mental illness, just like bipolar. They're going to say that molesting kids is just like being crazy half the time, apparently. So yeah, that's why they call it bipolar, because they know that it doesn't sound as bad as, you know, borderline personality disorder. Yeah. Anyway, these fucking mind games. These mind games they play all the time with the fucking language and the way that they advertise this kind of stuff. But nobody's gonna listen to me because I'm just some crazy person, you know? But anyway, people on the left and people on the right, though, they both do the same thing where they say, oh, you're obsessed with money. No, you're obsessed with money. No, you're obsessed with money. Y'all are both obsessed with money. You know, it's kind of funny that, like, socialists, like, God bless them, because I know they mean well, but it's just sad because, like, that doesn't work, you know? It's like all your good intentions, you really want to believe society could be better than it is, but it's just not going to work. I have people that they don't believe that. They just want to keep believing this bullshit. Like, they're just like, oh no, you don't believe enough. You don't believe enough. It's like, well, you're just not aware. You're just not aware of the fact that you can't make people do stuff they don't want to do without excessive force. That's not going to be good for humanity at all. I guess we'll see. You know, I'm not really concerned about it as much as I probably should be. But that's also because of my relationship with Jesus Christ. I'm serious. No, but I noticed, like, tonight I was, like, really able to be myself. Like, really and truly. It was so cool. But I know I prayed. It's like I usually have, like, a lucky rock and, like, my little beaded crucifix. Yes, I have that. I have, like, a cross with beads on it. Jesus is with me. Well, I didn't have that. I left it in the car, I think, and it's just like, I was like, he's in your heart. And it was like, I really felt that. And you know, it's just such a beautiful thing. Like, being able to express that. And I know that kind of scares people, thinking about that kind of shit. There's no greater way to turn somebody off than by talking about Jesus, you know? People usually get nervous. They're nervous. But they like my joke about Jesus relating to homosexual. You gotta relate two things. I said something that I was hoping could relate to liberals. And I actually won them over. I knew that I won them over. That was a good feeling. So I'll tell you guys a joke. Y'all wanna hear the joke? I'm so glad you do. The joke was, I just want a man who loves Jesus Christ enough to be considered a homosexual for Jesus Christ. So, yeah, they laughed at that. But yeah, a lot of people said, like, man, it's absurd, it's awesome, it's honest, it's awesome. That's so true. Like, people are agreeing with me, so that's good. But there are a lot of points to make. I just don't feel like making ones about all the police brutality situation, because it's just a clusterfuck. Any way you look at it, it's a fucking clusterfuck. And they're doing this shit on purpose because it's election time. So they do it every 4 years. It's just crazy that they're willing to fuck up people's lives so fucking much. Also, they can amp us up amp our emotions, amp up our anxiety. I don't know. I'm just fucking over it. But anyway, I kind of want to go to Waffle House, even though I just ate a fuck ton of eggs at my friend Ronit's house. I have a really awesome Jewish friend now, y'all. I told y'all, I fucking love Jews. If you get on to me about being anti-Semitic because of some ADL shit, I hate to break it to you, but people can still say whatever they want. I mean, it's crazy, like all this stuff, like the censorship stuff. I just don't fuck with it. That's why I lost a subscriber recently. I noticed that. And I got so excited. Like, there's such a sick pleasure in, like, losing people that don't, you know. I'm like, okay, they don't get it. That's fine. And there's no hard feelings. There's no hostility. It's like, oh, you're stupid, you know. It's like, no, you probably are just a little bit more like a sheep and a little bit less like a crazy person, you know. Crazy people tend not to be sheep. There's that side, but then there's another side of crazy that I feel like has been subjected to us in society. It's been imposed pretty much from so many different directions. And because of that, it's like people behave crazy. I'm so glad I've been studying this for the past 17 years? Yeah, man. I know what I'm talking about. It's like, that's the one thing that I know more about than anything else. It's why it's like obvious what's happening right now. So I realize that really, like, God wants me to talk to people and educate them about what's going on. But I have to be very careful because of this, you know, I want to help as many people as possible. I don't want to like tone myself down, but at the same time, I also, you know, you have to be mindful of, you know, just not being a total cunt. I guess the best way to describe it. Just don't be a total cunt. Well, we should be fine. But, you know, people right now are just so fucking touchy. So, you know, Donald Trump's the president. It just turned everything up. Turned everything up, man. I mean, there's a part of me that like regrets it. Like, but I'm like, no, the alternative would not have been better. But it's like, that's based off all the shit that I know. But I realize that other people know other stuff, or they think they know other stuff. So it's like, I don't even see the point in arguing with people. Like, I'm just like, why do people argue over stuff? Because it's like, I said this tonight, and this joke got a laugh too. And I really like this joke, and I wanna do more on it. Because this is the way that I can say what I want to say, but make it fucking funny. So I said that the only time that it makes sense to get mad because somebody else has a different opinion is if that somebody else is your clone. That's the only time that it makes sense. And I also said, you know, authenticity, people are so afraid of authenticity, you know, because they're threatened by anything that's different. So I think that it's going to be a new currency in this bankrupt world in the future. And that it's going to be authenticity and self-awareness. Because you can't have authenticity without self-awareness, I believe. So, anyway, I'm almost at 20. I'll see y'all. Love ya.